I've been thinking for a while about trying to do a wine that's almost medicinal in flavour. Something you might want if you've got a sore throat or something like that. Kind of cough syrup wine. And I found in the freezer I got some blackcurrants from last year. So I'm going to base it on that. There's not a lot of blackcurrants, and because this is an experimental wine, no idea how it's going to turn out. I'm going to do a smaller quantity. I'm going with a 10 litre. And because of what I feel to be the success of the tap that I put on the big barrel, I'll put a tap on this one as well. So we'll see how that works. Still got to get this washed. And I want a really, really rich, thick flavour. So sugar-wise, I'm going to add this Muscovado, really dark sugar in there. I've also got some syrup. I might put some dark syrup in it. Now I'm going to be using turbo yeast on this one. The reason for that is it turns out that's the only yeast I have at the moment. But this packet is meant for a 25 litre container. This is 10, so I'm going to have to put a little less than half of this in. But that's all right. Okay, so I'll start boiling everything up on the wood stove. I've already got that lit and had my Sunday morning breakfast. And now it's time for Sunday morning blackcurrant spiced wine making. So I've put some water into the big saucepan and I'm getting that heated up on the wood stove. But here's some of the stuff I'm going to be adding. It's going to be a bit of a balancing act. We've got the blackcurrants and the Muscovado sugar. So I'll start by mixing in that sugar and getting that dissolved, and then probably put the blackcurrants in. But I want to get lots of different flavours in here. I've got a little bit of spruce bud syrup, so I'm going to add a little bit of that. I've got a cinnamon stick, that will go in. I've got this pack of mulled wine spices. So there's some ginger and a little bit more cinnamon, cardamom, that kind of stuff. So that will go in. Some herbs. I've got this rosemary. I'll put a generous load of that in. This is it's from the garden from last year, dried citruna. It's like a lemongrass type stuff. And also from the garden, I've got a whole load of mint from last year. As well as those, I found these, which will be interesting. This one is an organic licorice root powder. I put some of that in, but I'm going to have to be careful. I think that's going to be quite overpowering. And juniper berries. No experience with these, so again, I'll be careful with how much I'll put these in. These I'll put in. I might also go with the dark syrup in there. Not quite sure yet. We'll make it up as we go along, but I want to use this video as kind of my recipe, so once the wine's done, I can look back and I know what's gone in what quantities, and whether to take stuff away or add stuff in if I do this again. So, water should be heating up now. Let's start adding stuff. Okay, so the clay was in there for 12 hours, and then I drew a little bit of wine off through the tap, and it's still quite cloudy. But I also took a sample from the top, and it's crystal clear. And in the few hours since I drew this off, even the wine in this glass is actually cleared quite a lot. So I'm going to leave it until this evening, and then I'm going to bottle them, and we'll see what we get. It may be just some yeast and stuff around the tap that comes out in that first piece, but we shall see. But it's turned out really, really good. It's really, really full-bodied. It's not quite what I was expecting, and there are some of the flavours that are a bit lost in there. You've definitely got the blackcurrants. There is the herbiness, but it's hard to tell, is it the rosemary or the... There's a bit of mint. It's got really, really peppery, full-bodied red wine kind of taste. Very happy with that. Now, if I'm doing this one again, I think I'll put more of that licorice root powder. I think, because I'm not getting much licorice on that, and that would have been nice. But it has got that mulled wine, rich, full-bodiedness. So I'll do a little video showing the bottling and how clear the final product is. And hopefully, I think the first couple of bottles will be a bit cloudy, and then the rest of it's going to be lovely and clear like this.